this idea out there that they are singularly invested in Israel, eventually someone's going to come around and take action, not against the state of Israel, mind you, but against American Jews. Like, they smeared me. They just said, oh, Hasan wants harm
to be done to Jewish people.
American Jews to be harmed.
Great reply, Mike. This does
Dual statement on the most recent bad face Hasan smear is a major mistake.
Consultant shit. I could smell it from a mile fucking away. I know I read it already, but like, this is the type of stuff the Democratic Party loves to do, which is like, so the Republicans are doing some sort of bad faith smear. It has 2,000 likes on Twitter. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody gives a shit about a 2,000 like tweet. Then Abdul makes a statement about a 2,000 like tweet. And now every single newsroom in the entire country can write a story about it. So congratulations.
What did I say? What did I say about it? What did I say about it? Okay, so the other day, okay, so
Abdul El-Sayed refuses to renounce Hasan Piker. So now the volume is going to go up. Again, as I said, it's not a fatal mistake, but it will become a fatal mistake if it keeps up. Because what will happen is...
Because both sides legitimizes an enemy's bad faith attack. You can see Chuck Schumer's signature all over this. Not a fatal mistake, but it can become one if it keeps up. Exactly. He's being pushed into this centrist position because he's giving into like the bad faith right-wing smears. And this is okay, so I guess this is what we're talking about here. This is the statement that he's talking about.
Eventually someone's going to come around and take action, not against the state of Israel. And you want to know why? Because people don't fuck with Israel any longer.
Jeremy Moss. Okay, Jeremy Moss, the Democratic nominee for U.S. House Michigan 11, says he isn't ready to back Abdul El-Sayed yet. This observer says, can't imagine why. Because Jeremy Moss, candidate for Michigan 11, has taken almost $60,000 from AIPAC. And here he is, partying with a bunch of pro-Israeli terrorists.
And you want to know why? Because people don't fuck with Israel any longer. And if Jews in America keep putting this idea out there that they are singularly invested in Israel, eventually someone's going to come around and take action, not against...
The entire purpose of my campaign is to make sure America continues to support Israel. America is not our homeland, says Jeremy Allen Moss.
Are singularly invested in Israel, eventually someone's going to come around and take action, not against the state of Israel, mind you, but against American Jews. Okay? We're teaching people the wrong lesson. I don't know how people don't recognize how dangerous this predicament is, how dangerous this is for Jews. You're running around basically tying your entire identity to a country that inevitably will be seen as basically Jewish ISIS. And you're saying, as Jews, this is all we care about. You're making anti-Semitism worse.
And of course, these comments have been clipped out of context as a way of saying Hasan Piker is now openly threatening Jewish people right here in America over the actions of the state of Israel. No. What he is saying is that there are very real anti-Semitic people in our society that are using the actions of the state of Israel to foment very real anti-Semitism amongst broader and broader audiences. This is what he is saying. It's not that he himself, it's not that he himself is anti-Semitic. He recognizes that people, that Jewish people, tying their entire identity, trying to attach an entire religion of people to the actions of one incredibly evil regime is doing active damage and giving ammunition to very real anti-Semites. And what happens? And what happens should one of these people in these circles that are being brought in to actual anti-Semitism by these Nazis? What happens if one of them rises to power? What happens if one of them, what happens if they take out their anger anger that they will feel is fully justified upon Jewish people right here in America. That is what he is saying. You're actively putting people in danger, attempting to tie at the identity of an entire religion to the very real evil that Israel is putting out. You can't do that because it makes people feel like it makes people feel like they're not fighting Israel. You have to fight Jewish people is what you put in the heads of these anti-Semites. I've seen it. I've seen it since October 7th. We've seen it time and time and time again. Like, just these people seizing people who have always hated Jewish people. People who have always like had these insane conspiracy theories about space lasers or how they control the media. You know what I mean? Seizing on this incredibly tumultuous time to try to be like, oh, well, see, there they go. Well, we've been telling you, they're just bad. They're just bad people. It's like, no, bro, no. Israel is obviously an apartheid built on imperialism, colonialism, whatever you want to call it, Western expansionism, Lebensraum, manifest destiny style racism, and you know what I mean, and genocide. But that doesn't mean that every single Jewish person is guilty of those incredible evils. But yet you are going to hear figures on the right and even figures within the establishment Democrat Party try to take these words and shuffle them around in such a way that makes Hasan Piker seem like some sort of ridiculous anti-Semite, and he's just not. And what Abdul El-Sayed has effectively done in putting out a statement in regards to what he just said, what Hasan just said, is ceding the ground to these arguments. You're giving them legitimacy, and you can't do that. You're moving to the center. I went into a little spiel about Abdul El-Sayed in the previous segment, but this is what I'm talking about. You cannot cede the ground to these right-wing bad faith arguments. Like, next you'll be talking about how, oh, immigrants are actually a problem, really.
Okay.
And it can't just be like the type of people who are going to come out are going to be like me. You know what I mean? Like, somebody like me does not have a big enough platform of legitimacy to say the things that I just said and be taken seriously by the broader ecosystem.
Deal with this. Who would
like somebody like Abdul El-Sayed would have to like come out and be like, that's not what he means. You guys know exactly what he means, and that's not it. But instead he put out a statement kind of moving away, like, again, ceding the ground.
And the anger, if you recall, if you were here in the 2024 election, I would say, look, you should never in a million years take ownership over this stuff at all. Okay? You should never take ownership over this stuff.
Because now they know you can be pushed. Because now they know that you can be pushed. Like, you shouldn't give it legitimacy. Why? Because now they know that you can be pushed to, you're malleable. It means that you're malleable. You can be, like, manipulated by you know what I mean? Like, by hate campaigns into positions that they need you to have.
A quote from Malcolm X. If you're not careful, the newspapers will have you hating the people who are being oppressed and loving the people who are doing
drama about his son singing the Charlie Kirk song. Okay. Oh, yeah, he did do that. He did do that. But that, you know, right-wingers are just a bunch of snowflakes. So, of course, they got angry about a guy singing a song.
Many people can't. They will make you think I am your enemy. And those who have designed society.
Okay, so here's Abdul El-Sayed's statement on Hasan Piker's very valid commentary on the dangers of linking the evil actions of Israel to every single Jew in existence. I believe all Americans deserve the right to advocate for what they believe without fear of violence. This is particularly true for communities that have been intimidated for their beliefs in the past. My commitment to Jewish safety is the same as my commitment to the safety of my own daughters. Anti-Semitism is a scourge, and we need to address it in all its forms. And I stand against any rhetoric that puts the community at risk. But I want to be crystal clear. Nobody speaks for this campaign besides me and my campaign spokespeople. And while politicians and pundits try to make this race about a Twitch streamer, we're going to be talking about gas, groceries, good schools, and healthcare, because that's what Michiganders keep asking about. It's why I'm fighting to get money out of politics, money in your pocket, and Medicare for all. See, he ends it with that. But on its face, it can be received as a very innocuous statement. But what this does is give legitimacy to the people who are going to tell you that you can't call out Israel for its you cannot say that Israel is evil without by extension saying that all Jews are evil and deserve to have violence done upon them. When no, that is absolutely not what Hasan advocated for. He just calls out Israel for what it's doing, for participating, for doing an active genocide, an ethnic cleansing, an apartheid, and how linking that to all Jews, like the way that Jonathan Greenblatt does, the way that mainstream media seems to want to, only gives ammunition to very real Nazis who seek to foment anti-Semitism and are doing so every single day to a broader and broader audience. And yes, these people are stupid. These people are crazy. These people are misadjusted. They are the type of individuals who will hear something like this and go and commit what they think is justified violence against innocent members of the Jewish community who may not even identify with Israel at all. And what Abdul al-Sayed did here is seed ground to that centrist mindset, and you can't do that. The same man that only 2 years ago was invited to I hate centrist people? I recognize that they are a more odious threat than open fascism is. Wait, what do you mean? I mean that a centrist will stop any and all movement towards anti-fascism.
There's a shining light.
Like they sit on the fence and they say, oh, one side wants to give everybody Medicare and these guys want to fucking murder every brown person in the country. But it's hard to get Medicare for all, you know what I mean? Meanwhile, behind them, there's a bunch of Nazis murdering every brown person in the country. They stand in the way of meaningful progress. They stand in the way of meaningful justice, promising always to we'll get it right next time, or maybe later, but it's not possible today. And to call back to a much similar position, because I think he just quoted Malcolm X, but I'm going to go with MLK here. Key quotes from On the White Moderate and Gradualism. In his letter from Birmingham jail in 1963, Martin Luther King argued that the white moderate was a greater obstacle to freedom than the Ku Klux Klan, prioritizing negative peace, absence of tension over positive peace, presence of justice, the movement towards progressivism. He expressed that lukewarm acceptance from these individuals was more frustrating than outright rejection. He criticized the myth of time used by those who advised waiting for a more convenient season for civil rights, emphasizing that freedom is never voluntarily given by the oppressor and must be demanded by the oppressed. Spent months smearing Hasan Piker with out of context clips, spending vast sums of money to make him toxic. Oh my God.
Anyway,
look at this. Be harmed if they don't condemn Israel. Look at this. Like I'm saying, they're obviously going to clip that out of context.
Putting this idea out there that they are singularly invested in Israel, eventually someone's going to come around and take action, not against the state of Israel, mind you, but against American Jews.
Hasan Piker.
Clip.
they're like, and he thinks this is good.
He wants it to happen.
Genuinely, if the Democrats can't get their rabid Zionist lapdog Israel worshippers in check, Tucker Carlson will be president come January 2029. 100%. 100%.
Hasan Piker confirms he'll vote for Tucker Carlson. No, goodness, no, goodness.
The IMU poll. And it was already failing. So they turned around and said, oh, actually, Hasan wants to fucking, like, they smeared me. They just said, oh, Hasan wants harm
to be done
Hasan
to Jewish
wants
people.
American Jews to be harmed in an argument where I'm making the exact opposite argument. Abdul said, y'all need to stop putting, y'all need to also put Mike Rogers on blast for hiring people who defend Hitler group chats and work for his campaign. You cannot allow shit like this to slide when his supporters are trying to manufacture out anti-Semitism to smear votes. A guy who led an anti-Muslim protest in Dearborn recently is part of Mike Rogers' campaign. Y'all should press him on that as well.
But they're not going to. Why? Because they're trying to maintain the establishment. Like, they're trying to maintain servant, like, you know what I mean? Like, the ability to serve Israel. What's up, guys? Editing Kazari here with a little final note. I just want to express that if you are one of the people who tunes in weekly, daily to Hasan Piker's stream, or if you catch him on through like clips on YouTube, or even if you're not like a Hasan Piker watcher, like if you support Abdul El Sayed or Zoran Mamdani, or indeed any of the other like progressive candidates that have popped up in this last election cycle, you need to be vehemently pushing back against this type of bad faith clip chimping that both right and center are going to be engaged in, because like we can't have people being like whipped into compliance like this. We can't have people constantly ceding the ground, and it's only going to hurt the progressive movement as a whole if these great candidates keep getting pushed, bullied into the center. And we need more people with big voices to be about this too, because my small platform, I am only one small voice amongst like a sea of just like right-wing nonsense here in the VTuber space. So if you are anyone with a decent following or fan base, you got to be pushing back against this type of bad faith clip chipping, because it's going to take us backwards. I guess that's all I wanted to say in closing this video. So if you've enjoyed this, please drop a follow over on Twitch. You can catch me there Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I do video games, I do political content, or drop me a subscribe here on YouTube. Thank you guys so much. I am KazariALPHA once again, and I will see your beautiful toenails on the battlefield.